Welcome to the Olympic Hockey Show brought to you by the Purple Rain Podcast, where today we are going to be looking at France's coaching staff for the Milan-Cortina games. So really, I should be saying bonsoir. You did do French in school. I did, started from year 4 all the way up to GCSE in year 11. Yeah, but I will admit, my French has been a bit rusty since my school days. Yeah. So, we're going to be doing France. Very exciting. Especially, of course, France originally wasn't supposed to be in these games. Yes. Would you like to explain why I'm just getting the details? Okay. Yeah, so, as we all know, originally Russia was supposed to have a team of some sort in these games. As you guys know, Russian Olympians are still banned, and as a result, France, who were the next highest qualifier, the next highest qualifier was France, and so France is taking their place in this year's tournament. Yeah, and we did clarify for that this is the first time that France is going to be competing in the Olympics for the women's side. For the men, it's their first time back since 2002 to these games. So it's good. So very exciting. Okay, so France's head coach will be Gregory Tarlet, and he actually is quite a very experienced head coach, actually. But prior to that, he actually played as a forward with the Dox de Habre and the Visons de Nulay-sur-Marne. But he's actually a very experienced coach. He's been in the game for quite a long time coaching. In fact, Tarlet started with the national team as an assistant coach to head coach Christine Duchamp ahead of the 2011 IHF Women's World Championship Division 2, and he remained in the role until being promoted to head coach in 2013. His first major tournament as head coach and was the 2014 IHF Women's World Championship Division 1 Group A. Under Tarlet, France achieved promotion to the World Championship Top Division tournament for 2019, which is when they made their debut. And that was the first time in their history. Yeah, first time in France's history they managed to get promotion to the top division. And that was the 2019 edition, of course. If you've listened to Jocks and Jills, it's been referenced plenty of times by Tess and Julia. Let it go. Let it go. Do you want to go get my Elsa? No. Or your Olaf. Yeah. So they did the 2019 IHF Women's World Championships. They returned to the top division for the 2023 IHF Women's World Championships, but they also have not been back there since. No, they got relegated and henceforth, no, we've not managed to see them back at the top division yet. So I think this is really good for France. Now, I mean, he's had more than nearly 15 years experience as a head coach.
Yep.
Both as the assistant level and at the top level. So for a team like France, who a lot of people are going to go into Milan thinking, why is this team there? Yeah. Because not many people will have known that ice hockey has got a scene in France. No. So But I think the fact they've got someone really confident who knows what he's doing, has got experience both as a player as a coach, I think this is really, really good for France. Now, this is going to help them in their stead big time because France are going to struggle. Now, have you seen what group they're in? I know they're in Group B, which some people might think that's not really a big of a deal because you've got the likes of France and Italy there, but Japan, Germany, Sweden are all top-notch quality teams. They, of course, had to win their qualifiers to get into the games, which, of course, you France last year. Yeah, it was last year. It was during the international break. We had them here till last year in February. When I had the rivalry series and saw all the Sirens' injuries, which obviously killed their season. Yep. And you got a week off. Yeah, so I think, and of course, remember, in Group B, only the top 3 will qualify along with all of Group A for the knockout round, the knockout stages. I don't see France really pushing for that. Well, they said their goal is to make quarterfinals. I know. They said that's their goal. Now, I'm sorry, if you're competing at Olympics, surely your goal is a medal. If you get it, great. If not, well, at least you can say, I at least tried for it. Why set the bar so low? Could be because they know they're coming back in 4 years' time. Because obviously, we know the French Alps will host the next games, so there's a high chance they probably will get a team represented again in both tournaments. So they might think, well, do we need to push ourselves in Milan when we know we've got a home game to look forward to in 4 years' time? I don't know. For me, the way I would look at Milan, and I'll give Lady a chance to because she's the only French born here. If I was looking at Milan for France, I would say use this as experience. Learn from this so you can then go further in 2030. Would you agree with that, Lady? I definitely, I think this has to be seen as a learning curve for France because I just can't see them doing well against the most likely top 3 in that group, which because we Sweden, Japan, and Germany. Now, Germany I feel is a bit iffy because obviously Germany, as you know, George, did not perform well in the World Championships. And I think going into the World Championships back in Prague, me and you were kind of thinking with Group B, it's probably going to be Sweden and Germany who will dominate that group. And yet Japan did really well because Japan got second in that group, which meant they had a better chance in the quarterfinals than they would have done had they topped the group because they probably would have got they might have got a top opponent from Group A. So Germany didn't do as well, but because Hungary and Norway just could not compete, now that saved Germany. Otherwise, Germany could have been easily relegated. Germany did not perform well in that World Championships, and I think as you said, George, it's thanks to Hungary and Norway just not being really able to sort of match the other team. It sort of stayed with it. So Germany, I think, is a bit iffy. Going into Milan, I think Germany's a bit iffy, and we'll come on this when we talk about Germany. But that's better. But France, I can't really see them coming anywhere but bottom. Well, it depends on how Italy does. Well, yeah, because obviously Italy, I think, is another one of those things you think they might not do well, but as we've learned, Italy had the advantage of they had a centralisation camp in Montreal, and of course their general manager is Daniel Soriano, so she knows what she's doing when it comes to winning rosters. But I think you're right. I think it might be France who will come last, and then we'll see what happens with Italy. So do you think Italy could capitalise if Germany falter? I think Italy have a very good chance of causing some ruckus, but we'll see. We'll see. But I would just look at these games for us, learn from it, because in 4 years' time, you're going to be having home games where you could maybe then go further than you would have done in Milan. That's how I see it. And I think this is a really good acquisition for France. I mean, he's been with the team on the coach side for nearly 15 years now. So he's got plenty of experience. So he knows how the group works. He knows what will need to be done. And he actually has got that experience of coaching World Championship teams in the top division. Because obviously they qualified for the top division for the first time in 2019. They got bracketed in 2023. So he's got some experience of what it's like if, say, France was to get to the quarterfinals. He has got some experience about how to go up against the US and Canada, which probably likely would happen, because the chances are whoever comes last of those three from Group B that qualify probably will get the winner of Group A, which likely will be either us or it will be the Canadians. Yeah, that's just the way it works. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I will not be surprised if it is us, because Canada right now you think, oh dear, lots changed since we found out about Canada's. Since we did the video about Canada's staff. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. A lot has changed. Right. What do you make, Club? Can you open me, lady? What menu? I feel that France have got a really good coach. And I think that they're going to be able to build on this experience. I just say, for me, I prefer for France. I look at it as just a learning experience. Just go out there and have fun. Yeah, you're probably going to get throttled. But at least you won't be like, you're going to bring back Switzerland again. I'm just saying! At least we're like with Switzerland, where you're going to be battered up by the big dogs. With France, they've got chances in their games to score well, but the question is, not against Sweden. Okay. Not against Sweden. In Sweden, they'll get World Tree better. The other four, the other three, they could do well. And that first game for France is against Italy. So that could be a more closer affair than people think. Isn't that supposed to be the first game in Santa Galina? Yeah. I know. Yeah, I know. But we'll see. No, but I think I'm really pleased with France, and I think they've got a great coach. And I feel like, because you've got somebody who's been there for a time. Because for a lot of the coaches so far that we've talked about, it's either their first time or it's the first Olympics they're going to have with their team. Yeah, like us, for example, because our coach is, this is his first Olympics. You know, he's had previous World Championships, this is his first Olympics. Italy is a brand new coach. Yeah. So, Czechia, you might need to check up on. Did Carmichael come during Beijing or after Beijing? Yeah. So there's really not many coaches so far that are going to these games that have actually had very long experience with their national teams. Yeah. So, I think for France, this is really good. This is really good to have somebody who's been with the national team for a very long time. And also, women's hockey. Yeah! Because we keep saying how, when it comes to coaches, we will make sure that they have got experience in coaching women's hockey. So, the fact that he's been with the women's side for a very long time, that really helps him instead. Because we just don't know. I mean, and of course, obviously France. I think a lot of people are still trying to get their heads around the fact that obviously France are in the first place. Yeah. Would you rather have the Russians? Because I know I wouldn't. For personal reasons, I wouldn't. But yeah. Plus, because we know they're definitely going to be in for 2030, the fact that they're now going to be in for 2026 on both sides, that's going to help them massively get some experience when they host the games in the French Alps. Yep. Rather than thinking, oh, you failed to qualify 2026, you get to wait till 2030, when you got home games, you have no experience, but now you can look back on, you're going to be able to go into 2030 and look back on, right, here's what we did in Milan, let's build on that. Yep. So that's really going to help France. Yeah, but obviously a lot of people are going to are still trying to read about that, why they're here in the first place, because they really do well or not. Yeah, I think for a team like France, who no one's really got expectations about, I think it's very bold for them to come out and say, our goal is to get to quarterfinals. It's a very bold statement to make. Is it achievable? I don't know, but it's bold. It's a bold statement to make at this time. Yeah. Now, because they're in Group B, I think they've got a better chance of at least potentially getting in. But of course, you would need to take big swipes against Sweden and Japan to stand a chance. Because I think Italy could easily beat, or Italy could easily beat France. Yeah. Or I will not be surprised if that goes to overtime. Because I think France and Italy look sort of evenly matched. Yeah. Which, in the group stage, you probably won't be able to say that for a lot of matchups. Yeah. So, I think France and Italy are easily matched. It's Sweden, Japan, as George would say, they're going to struggle against. And then the Germans are a toss-up. Yeah. Because I think me and George, we just feel like, well, they didn't perform that well in the World Championships, it's gone. Yeah. So, and that's probably going to be would have been their only chance before Milan to have some experience, to have opportunity to play together. So it'll be an interesting Group B. I think Joe's the one we're going to keep an eye on Group B because I think we know Sweden and Japan will do well. Italy and France are probably just there for what the hey. And then you've got Germany, who should actually be a contender, but I know. We'll see. We will have to see. Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. Yeah. Yeah. But I think France, this is a really good acquisition, and it's really great it got, but he's got a lot of experience about. So far, he's the biggest experience. He's been there the longest. So I think France are going to have a great coach on the belts. It's just obviously the players now need to then gel together. Because obviously you can get a great bench staff. The question is, are the players then sort of is the chemistry there or not? Yeah, which is kind of what we're seeing right now with the Torren and Goldeneyes. Yes, on paper they look like a fierce competitive teams. Yes, behind the bench they've got great people behind the bench and what they're doing. It's just the chemistry. Particularly for Vancouver, it's not gelling. Seattle's working. Seattle. Oh my god, Seattle. The Torrent have literally found their groove now, which I think is really good. I think what helped them was they had a 5-game homestand. Yeah, to pretty much start their season after that first no-call game in Vancouver. Yeah. And Hannah Murphy. I know. I don't think I'm expecting her to be number 1 in the net. That's good. That's good because you need. Because if you team up Seattle, you've got to try and find those reliable netminers. So you can have to put them in. Yeah. No, but I think going into the season, what people are trying to say is we all probably think it was going to be Vancouver would do better, and we would be basically having a go at Seattle. All the way around. Because Vancouver's mistakes are just obvious. Yep. Yeah, but Seattle, I think because Vancouver did everything right in terms of the whole hockey operations, we focus less on Seattle, and Seattle's now basically trying to go, hiya, look at me, please. I'm here too! Trying to do that. Look, we've got Hearing Knights! Alex Carpenter! But we are guilty of that, because I think we just focused too much on Vancouver in the offseason, because Vancouver on paper was like the serious threat, and Seattle we kind of thought, oh, maybe one day. But no, it's the other way around, and I'm kind of impressed. Yeah. Seattle have made a few mistakes, but they haven't been so great, big, and obvious. They are so visible. Well, Vancouver has. So that's the point we're trying. Yeah, because obviously, because we know how the losses going to gel. That's the problem. Yes, Brad's got a great experienced head coach. The question is, how is these rosters going to gel? That's the question. Yeah. But just to finish off, it's a great coach you got there. He's got the experience. Now let's see how the roster comes there. Indeed. Want to start off? Yeah. Can we say goodbye in French? Just this one. A bientôt. Au revoir. Oh, that leaves me with bon oui.